Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is Monday, June 10th, 2024. Today we will recap the NBA Finals and Stanley Cup Final games from the weekend. And we have Stanley Cup Game 2 tonight. MLB, WNBA, soccer, AHL Conference Finals, French Open, golf, NASCAR, F1, NHL mock draft, news and notes, and best bet. We'll start with the NBA Finals. Last night was Game 2. And the Boston Celtics get it done again by a score of 105-98 to take a 2-0 series lead. Dallas hung around, and they even made it a very interesting within the last minute. Then Derek White had the huge block, and then there was a layup, and then that was a wrap. It's funny because yours truly called the game a wrap with like 3 minutes left, and then Dallas came back, and I was like, oop, did I just jinx the Celtics? Nope, turns out I didn't. Although it was more interesting and a little more in doubt with a minute to go than you thought. Drew Holiday, 26 points, 11 boards. Leader in the clubhouse for MVP, or is it actually a player who's down 0-2 in the series? And Luka Doncic, he had 32 points, 11 boards, 11 assists. He probably was the best player on the court in this game, but Holiday was the best Celtic, and Holiday really stepped up in a big way, and you gotta wonder if the Celtics win the title, if Milwaukee's thinking to themselves, why did we trade this guy for Damian Lillard, who's old and is a bad defensive player, and Drew helped us win a title. But at the same time, I do understand they're trying to keep Giannis, and Giannis probably wanted Dame. Or else maybe Giannis would be, who knows, on the Knicks right now if they didn't pull off the Dame deal. But anyway, Celtics win Game 2. Mavericks under a shit ton of pressure come later in the week, Wednesday, Friday, Games 3 and 4. So all the pressure in the world on Luka Doncic, Jason Kidd, and the Dallas Mavericks come this week. All right, now we'll move on to the Stanley Cup Final. Game 1 was Saturday night, and it was a great night for the Florida Panthers as they win 3-0 and take a 1-0 series lead. Carter Verhaeghe scored in the first period. 4 minutes into the game, 1-0 Florida, assist by Alexander Barkov and Sam Reinhart. Evan Rodriguez scored in the second period, 2 minutes, 16 seconds in. Fourth goal of the playoffs, by the way, Verhaeghe's 10th. Sam Bennett and Brandon Montour assist, 2-0 Florida. Third period, empty netter by Eli Lewis-Trainen, his second of the postseason, to make it a 3-1 win for the Florida Panthers. Edu Luostarinen. And Rodriguez was the number 3 star. Number 2 star was Verhaeghe. Number 1 star, 32 saves on 32 shots, of course, was Sergei Bobrovsky. And Stuart Skinner for Edmonton wasn't bad, but the Panthers didn't play great. 15 of 17. But Florida finds a way to win. Game 2 tonight, 8 o'clock on ABC and ESPN Plus. Oilers-Panthers should be a really good game. Sean McDonough, Ray Ferraro, Emily Kaplan on the call. Florida minus 142, Edmonton plus 118, over under 5.5, minus 110 each way. Edmonton plus 1.5 is minus 230, Florida minus 1.5 plus 188. I'm going to go with the risky pick, and I'm going to take Edmonton to win Game 2 at plus 118 on the road. I just think that Edmonton is due. I thought they played well in Game 1. but they just couldn't get a shot past Bobrovsky, who's just been a nemesis in these playoffs, with the exception of a couple of games. And this is to me, the Bobrovsky stinker incoming. So I'm going to take Edmonton plus 118. I would parlay that with the over as well. Okay, now move on to Major League Baseball. Fun weekend, of course. We'll go over all the results and look ahead to, tonight's slate. Friday, Brewers over the Tigers 10-0. Pirates over the Twins 3-0. Nats over the Braves 2-1. O's over the Rays 6-3. Dodgers over the Yankees 2-1-11. Reds over the Cubs 3-2. Mariners over the Guardians 3-2. Giants over the Rangers 5-2. White Sox over the Red Sox 7-2. Royals over the Mariners 10-9. So best bet was a huge flop. Cardinals over the Rockies 8-5. Astros over the Angels 7-1. Padres over the D-backs 10-3. A's over the Jays 2-1. All right, Saturday from London, Phils over the Mets 7-2. Nats over the Braves 7-3. Pirates over the Twins 4-0. Giants over the Rangers 3-1. Jays over the A's 7-0. O's over the Rays 5-0. White Sox over the Red Sox 6-1. Reds over the Cubs 4-3. Brewers over the Tigers 5-4. Royals over the Mariners 8-4. Rockies over the Cardinals 6-5. Guardians over the Marlins 8-0. Dodgers over the Yankees 11-3. Padres over the D-backs 13-1. And the Astros over the Angels 6-1. Sunday from London, Mets over the Phils 6-5. Rangers over the Giants 7-2. Nats over the Braves 8-5. Twins over the Pirates 11-5-10. So a decisive 6-run win for Minnesota from a standpoint of that was a lot closer. That should have been a lot closer because of the extra inning guy and second base rule. O's over the Rays 9-2. Cubs over the Reds 4-2. Guardians over the Marlins 6-3. Tigers over the Brewers 10-2. Red Sox over the White Sox 6-4-10. Mariners over the Royals 6-5-10. Cards over the Rockies 5-1. Astros lose at the Angels 9-7. Jays over the A's 6-4. D-backs over the Padres 9-3. And the Yankees with the 6-4 win over the Dodgers to avoid a sweep. All right. Tonight's game's not a lot. 6:50, Fox Sports 1, O's Rays. Corbin Burns, Ryan Papuai. Decent pitching matchup. O's minus 156, Rays plus 132, over under 7.5, overs minus 104, unders minus 118, O's minus 1.5 plus 114, Rays plus 1.5 is 537. I'm going to go with the under, but I don't feel good about it. Next, 7:30, Rockies Twins. Dakota Hudson, Chris Paddock. Twins minus 225, Rockies plus 188, over under 8.5, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Rockies plus 1.5 is minus 118, Twins minus 1.5 is minus 102. Chris Paddock was awful in that Yankees game the other day. I think there's value on Colorado, but I can't pick a team that's 19 under 500 as a give-out pick. Maybe I'll sprinkle a little bit on it, but I'm giving out the over. The over's a no-brainer. 8 o'clock, Yankees-Royals. Big series for KC. To me, this is a proven series for KC. Carlos Rodon, Seth Lugo. Yanks minus 130, Royals plus 110, over under 8.5, overs minus 114, unders minus 106. Yanks minus 1.5 plus 125, Royals plus 1.5 is minus 150. Tough one. Seth Lugo's been outstanding this year. Actually, I'm going to take KC plus 110. I think the Yankees have a little bit of a letdown after that Dodgers win. Jays Brewers. Jose Barrios, Colin Rea. Jays minus 112, Brewers minus 104, over under 8.5, overs minus 105, unders minus 115. Jays minus 1.5 plus 146, Brewers plus 1.5 is minus 176. I'm going to go with the Blue Jays minus 112 on the road. All those slight favorites. White Sox Mariners at 9:30. Eric Feed, Logan Gilbert. Mariners minus 130, White Sox plus 190, over under 6.5, overs minus 132, unders plus 108. White Sox plus 1.5 is minus 122. Mariners minus 1.5 plus 102. Mariners run line, no doubt about it. Bet against the White Sox at all costs. They're a joke. A's Padres, Joey Estes and Dylan Cease. Padres minus 225, A's plus 188, over under 7.5, overs plus 108, unders minus 132. A's plus 1.5 is minus 126, Padres minus 1.5 plus 205. I don't feel super about it, but I'm going to lay the run line with San Diego. Just betting against the bad A's. Then 9:45, Astros Giants. Spencer Getty, Kyle Harrison. Astros minus 118. Giants even money over under 8. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Stros minus 1.5 plus 138. Giants plus 1.5 minus 166. Over. Argetti's either auto bet on the other team or take the over. But I'm going to go with the over, although I just don't like how San Francisco's playing, so I can't back them in this spot. Okay, now move on to the WNBA. We'll go over the results from the weekend. And do we have games today? Yes, we do. And by the way, this weekend, all Commissioner's Cup. Friday, Fever over the Mystics, 85-83. Storm over the Aces, 78-65. Sparks over the Wings, 81-72. And the Mercury over the Lakes, 81-80. Saturday, Liberty over the Sun, 82-75. Dream over the Sky, 89-80. Sunday, Liberty over the Mystics, 93-88. Mercury over the Wings, 97-90 in double overtime. Lynx over the Storm, 83-64. Sparks over the Aces, 96-92. So the Mercury double overtime win by 7. A lot closer than that. Only one game tonight. NBA TV, 7 o'clock. Caitlin Clark and the Fever against the Sun of Connecticut. Connecticut finally lost the game. They lost the game to the Liberty at home. And the Sun were favored in the game. Good on the Liberty for getting the win outright on the road. Connecticut's a 12-point favorite. Total's 116.5. I'm taking the Fever getting the 12. I know a lot of people are going to say it's bounce back spot for the Sun. Which, a money line standpoint, yes, throwing the money line anywhere. But I just think Caitlin Clark is going to have a big chip on her shoulder after being left off the Olympic team, which was so freaking dumb. And I think that she's going to come out with a bang, and she's going to give the Fever a chance to win the game. So I'll take the Fever plus 12. I would actually sprinkle plus 490 in a weird way. But the Sun do feel like a money line leg with some baseball, if you want to go that route. But the Fever, you could argue you should throw them in with the Oilers and see how that payout would be. Okay, now move on to soccer. We'll go over the results from the weekend and look ahead to today's notable soccer. We'll start with MLS. Not everybody, but there are 4 games on Saturday. New England over the Red Bulls 1-0. Minnesota Dallas 1-1 draw. KC over Seattle 2-1. St. Louis Portland 0-0 draw. Women's Friday. Louisville over Houston 2-0. And San Diego Orlando 0-0 draw. Saturday, Gotham over Angel City 2-1. Bay FC over Chicago 2-1. Washington over Utah 1-0. Portland over North Carolina 1-0. And then yesterday, KC over Seattle 5-2. We had a ton of friendlies over weekend. We have a lot more coming on today. I almost said on Monday. Friday. Cambodia over Magnolia 2-0. Czechia over Malta 7-1. Armenia over Pakistan 2-1. Albania over Azerbaijan 3-1. Russia over Belarus 4-0. Romania Liechtenstein 0-0 draw. Iceland over England 1-0. Germany over Greece 2-1. Poland over Ukraine 3-1. Scotland Finland 2-2 draw. Peru Paraguay 0-0 draw. Saturday. Brunei over Sri Lanka 1-0. Slovenia Bulgaria 1-1 draw. Hungary over Israel 3-0. Moldova over Cyprus 3-2. Serbia over Sweden 3-0. Switzerland, Austria 1-1 draw. Croatia over Portugal 2-1. Denmark over Norway 3-1. Belgium over Luxembourg 3-0. Spain over North Ireland 5-1. Colombia over US 5-1. Brazil over Mexico 3-2. And then yesterday, Italy over Bosnia-Herzegovina 1-0. Georgia over Montenegro 3-1. Slovakia over Wales 4-0. France, Canada 0-0 draw. And Argentina over Ecuador 1-0. A whopping 3 games in friendlies today. At noon, you have Czechia and North Macedonia. We're just going to pull that one up. Czech Republic is minus 290. North Macedonia is plus 650. The draw is plus 360. Czech Republic should win. I'm going under 2.5 goals, though, minus 112. 245, the Netherlands and Iceland. Dutch minus 650, Iceland 12-1, the draws plus 550. For this one, over 3.5 goals plus 110. And Poland, Turkey. Poland plus 130, Turkey plus 190, draw plus 220. I'm going with Poland plus 130. They've won their last 4. Make it 5 for Poland. All right, CONCACAF second round. Saturday, Guatemala over Virgin Islands B 3-0. Suriname over Anguilla 4-0. Trinidad over Bahamas 7-1. Curacao over Aruba 2-0. Nicaragua over Belize 4-0. Cayman Islands over Antigua Barbuda 1-0. And then yesterday, Jamaica over Dominicana 3-2. El Salvador over St. Vincent 3-1. Haiti over Barbados 3-1. Costa Rica over Grenada 3-0. Honduras over Bermuda 6-1. Panama over Montserrat 3-1. More World Cup qualifying. So this was the one that got wacky on me. Last time. So Friday, this is Africa. Kenya, Burundi 1-1 draw. Mozambique over Somalia 2-1. Lesotho over Zimbabwe 1-0. Angola over Eswatini 1-0. Madagascar over Comoro Islands 2-1. Uganda over Botswana 1-0. Ivory Coast over Gabon 1-0. Morocco over Zambia 2-1. Nigeria, South Africa 1-1 draw. Saturday, Cameroon over Cape Verde Islands 4-1. Gambia over Seychelles 5-1. And then yesterday, Liberia over Sao Tome and Principe 1-0. Congo DR over Togo 1-0. Djibouti, Ethiopia 1-1 draw. Senegal over Mauritania 1-0. And Namibia and Tunisia 0-0 draw. So we had a canceled game in Syria and Niger. At 9 a.m. coming up, we have Equatorial Guinea and Malawi. Guinea minus 155, Malawi 5-1, the draws plus 240. Over 2.5 goals plus 147. Somalia and Botswana. Botswana minus 10, Somalia plus 650, the draws plus 290. Over 2.5 goals plus 132. At noon, Benin and Nigeria. Nigeria minus 135, Benin plus 460, the draws plus 220. Over 2.5 goals plus 159. Burkina Faso, Sierra Leone. I do not see that one. We'll go with Sierra Leone. Guinea-Bissau and Egypt. Egypt minus 130. Guinea-Bissau plus 410. The draws plus 240. We're going to do over 2.5 goals plus 134. Uganda and Algeria. Algeria minus 110. Uganda plus 340. Draw plus 220. I'm going with Algeria on the road minus 110. 3 o'clock. Ghana and Central African Republic. Ghana minus 440. Central African Republic 11-1. The draws plus 470. Over 2.5 goals minus 104. And Guinea and Mozambique. Guinea minus 135. Mozambique plus 410. Draw plus 250. Over 2.5 goals plus 133. Oh, and odds for Burkina Faso, Sierra Leone. Faso minus 190, Sierra Leone 6-1, draw plus 270. Take back the Sierra Leone pick. I realize they were a 6-1 underdog. This game might be close. Why not go with the draw plus 270? Let's go with the draw instead, plus 270. But we also had over the weekend the USL. So I want to pull up those results really quickly. Saturday, Charleston, Pittsburgh, 0-0. Detroit over Rhode Island, 2-0. Louisville over North Carolina, 2-1. Tulsa over San Antonio, 2-1. Memphis, Colorado, 1-1 draw. New Mexico over Hartford, 1-0. Sacramento over Monterey Bay, 2-0. Oakland over Tampa, 1-0. Vegas over Miami FC, 3-1. Phoenix over Orange County, 2-1. And then yesterday, Indy over Birmingham, 1-0. All right, AHL playoffs are still rocking and rolling. We have results from the weekend. All right, in the West, Coachella Valley beats Milwaukee 5-1 to get back to the Calder Cup final to win that series in 5 games. And Cleveland beats Hershey 5-1 to force a Game 6 back in Hershey at the Giant Center tonight at 7 o'clock. That's something that I don't think the Bears were expecting after going up 3-0 in this series. But yours truly thought that both series were going to go back to a Game 6. But some pressure on the Bears now to wrap this baby up. Let's be honest. There's a lot of pressure on the Hershey Bears. I want to see if I have it available to me in terms of odds. If FanDuel doesn't have it, hopefully DraftKings has it. But I know you can bet it in Pennsylvania. But I'm going to say the Bears close out tonight. They know the pressure's on them at home. That crowd's going to be going crazy. So I think Bears close out tonight to set up a rematch between Hershey and Coachella Valley. Now we'll go over the college baseball from the weekend and look ahead to today's college baseball. So Friday, Tallahassee Super Regional Game 1. AC Florida State destroys UConn 24-4. Knoxville Super Regional Game 1. 1C Tennessee over Evansville 11-6. Chapel Hill Super Regional Game 1. 4C North Carolina over West Virginia 8-6 on a walk-off home run by Vance Honeycutt. Charlottesville Super Regional Game 1. 12C Virginia over Kansas State 7-4. Saturday, Knoxville Super Regional Game 2. Evansville over 1C Tennessee 10-8 to even up that series at 1 apiece. Tallahassee Super Regional Game 2. 8C Florida State over UConn 10-8 and 12. Athens Super Regional Game 1. 10C NC State over 7C Georgia 18-1. As they take a 1-0 series lead. FSC obviously wins their series. Bryan College Station Super Regional 3C Texas A&M over Oregon 10-6. A&M leads series 1-0. Clemson Super Regional Game 1. Florida over 6 seed Clemson 10-7. Charlottesville Super Regional Game 2. 12 Virginia over Kansas State 10-4 as they win that series 2-0. Lexington Super Regional Game 1. Kentucky, 2-seed Kentucky over 10 or 15-seed Oregon State 10-0. And Chapel Hill Super Regional 4-seed North Carolina over West Virginia 2-1 as UNC wins that series. And yesterday, Athens Super Regional Game 2, 7-seed Georgia over 10-seed NC State 11-2, as that series is 1-1. A classic, and I mean classic, of a game. Florida over 6-seed Clemson, 11-10. in 13 on a walk-off double by a player that had that was the second hit. Michael Robertson. And 1-seed Tennessee over Evansville 12-1 as they win that series 2-1. 3-seed Texas A&M over Oregon 15-9 as they win their series 2-0. That was Bryan College Station Super Regional, and then Knoxville Super Regional, obviously, for Tennessee. And at the time of recording, 2-seed Kentucky up 3-2 over 15-seed Oregon State. So that game might be played tomorrow. That's a TBD. And if it is, for some reason, Kentucky should win. And then an interesting game 3 between 10-seed NC State and 7-seed Georgia. We don't have games out or lines out for that, but I'm going to say Georgia wins with it being in Athens. And the Men's College World Series begins on Friday, so we are looking forward to that. Okay, now we'll do French Open. We'll go over the results of how it all played out. Men's semifinal Friday, 4-seed Alexander Zverev over 7-seed Casper Ruud in 4 sets. And 3-seed Carlos Alcaraz over 2-seed Jannik Sinner in 5 sets. And then the final today, 3-seed Carlos Alcaraz over 4-seed Alexander Zverev in 5 sets. So congrats to Carlos Alcaraz for winning the 2024 French Open. The next big tennis event is the Wimbledon coming up 4th of July week. So that's going to be a lot of fun. So we have the Wimbledon, and then we have the Olympics, and then the U.S. Open. So we're going to be doing a lot of tennis this summer on the podcast. And, of course, the women's side, we can't forget the women. Saturday, 1-seed Iga Swiatek over 12-seed Jasmine Puglini in 2 sets. Iga is just a dominant player. She's probably the best tennis player in any gender right now. She's just so freaking dominant. Most dominant women's tennis player I've seen since Serena in her prime. And obviously Novak peak is amazing too. So, yeah, props to Iga Swiatek. Can't wait for Wimbledon coming up in a couple of weeks. All right, now we'll do golf. We have results from the Memorial Tournament, and your winner with a score of 8 under, to no one's surprise, Scotty Scheffler. So he didn't get fallen in the trap for the U.S. Open. Second, 7 under, Colin Morikawa. Third, 4 under, Adam Hadwin. Fourth, 3 under, Christian Ziegenhaut. Tied for 5th, 2 under, Matt Fitzpatrick, Lovie Goldberg, and Sepp Straka. Tied for 8th with 1 under, Sanjay Alexander, Schauffele, Tony Finau, Hideki Matsuyama. Tied for 12th at even, Nick Dunlap, Victor Perez, Sahith Thiglia. Tied for 15th with 2 over, Cy Wukin, Victor Hovland, Sam Burns, Brad Horschel, Rory McIlroy. Tied for 20th with 3 over, Tommy Fleetwood and Corey Connors. We're going to do notables now. Tied for 22nd with 4 over, Alex K. Bahita, Alex Naren, J.T. Potson, Max Homa, Byung Ganon. Tied for 27th with 5 over, David Thompson, Adam Svensson, Emiliano Grillo, Ryan Henley, Nate Taylor, Seamus Power, and I meant to say Nick Taylor. Tied for 33rd with 6 over, Jason Day, Matt Kuchar, Peter Malnati, Justin Thomas, Brian Harmon, Taylor Pendrith tied for 39th with 7 over, Dylan McCarthy, Austin Eckler tied for 41st with 8 over, Will Zalatoris, Thomas Dietrich tied for 43rd with 9 over, Keegan Bradley and Tom Kim tied for 45th with 10 over, Lucas Hodges, Taylor Hogue, Adam Putnam, and Eric Cole. 49th with 12 over, Shane Lowry tied for 50th with 13 over, Cam Davis and Cam Young. 52nd, 18 over, Jackson Coven. And among those cut, Ben Griffin, Mackenzie Hughes, Wyndham Clark, Chris Goddard, Jordan Spieth, Stefan Yeager, Jake Knapp, Brendan Todd, Harry English, Brent Snecker, Patrick Cantlay, Chris Kirk, Davis Riley, Lucas Glover, Matthew Pavad, Adam Schenk, Justin Rose, Kurt Katayama, Ricky Fowler, Patrick Rogers, and Taylor Moore. And next up, of course, is the U.S. Open from Pinehurst number 2 in North Carolina. So it should be a great tournament coming up next weekend. We're looking forward to it. On to NASCAR now. We only had Xfinity and Cup this weekend. We're not going to see trucks until the end of June. We talked about that the other day. So Saturday night from Sonoma, your winner, Shane Van Gisbergen, a surprise winner. Second, Sheldon Creed. Third, Sam Meyer. Fourth, Austin Green. Fifth, Austin Hill, who was my pick, I think. Sixth, Justin Allgaier. Seventh, Chandler Smith. Eighth, Jonathan Mechek. Ninth, Cole Custer. 10th, Parker Kligerman. The rest, Parker Retzlaff, Jesse Love, Riley Herbst, Brendan Poole, Eric Jones, Josh Belicki, A.J. Allmendinger, Blaine Perkins, Alex Labb, Ryan Sieg, Matt DiMedetto, Jeremy Clements, Kyle Sieg, Brad Perez, Preston Pardis, Ryan Ellis, Garrett Smithley, Boris Said, Leyland Honeyman, Kyle Weatherman, Anthony Alfredo, Haley Deegan, Sammy Smith, Ty Gibbs, Jeb Burton, Josh Williams, and Brandon Jones. And the Cup Series from Sonoma yesterday, your winner, of course, Kyle Larson. Second, Michael McDowell. Third, Chris Buescher. Fourth, Chase Elliott. Fifth, Ross Chastain. Sixth, A.J. Allmendinger. Seventh, Ryan Blaney. Eighth, Tyler Riddick. Ninth, Chris Bell. 10th, Todd Gilliland. The rest, Corey LaJoie, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Daniel Suarez, Alex Bowman, Zane Smith, Carson Osbar, Ryan Preece, Eric Jones, Bubba Wallace, Joey Logano, Austin Cindric, Kaz Grella, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Harrison Burton, Noah Gragson, Martin Truex Jr., Xander Hemrick, John Anthony Nemechek, William Byron, Will Brown, Josh Berry, Justin Haley, Chase Briscoe, Cam Waters, Austin Dillon, Ty Gibbs, and in the rear, Denny Hamlin. So, Iowa's next week, Xfinity during the day, and then Father's Day night will be Cup. Formula One, they raced in Canada. So they had the Canada Grand Prix. Your winner, of course, with 25 points, with a time of 1:45:47.9-ish. Of course, the best race car driver in America, in the whole wide world, Max Verstappen. Coming in second, with almost 4 seconds back, 18 points, Lando Norris. Third, 15 points, a little over 4 seconds, Gage Russell. Fourth, 13 points, almost 5 seconds back, Lewis Hamilton. Fifth, just over 10 seconds back, 10 points, Oscar Piastri. Sixth, 8 points, 17.5 seconds back, Fernando Alonso. Seventh, 6 points back, 23.5 seconds back, Lance Stroll. Eighth, 4 points, 28.5 seconds back about, Daniel Ricciardo. Ninth, with 2 points with just over 30 seconds back, Pierre Gasly. And 10th, 1 point and over 30 seconds back, Esteban Ocon. The rest, Nico Hulkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, Yuki Tsunoda, Keanu Zhu, Carlos Sainz Jr., Alex Albon. Oh, Sergio Perez flopped. He came in 18th. Charles Leclerc flopped, and in the bottom, Logan Sargent. Next Grand Prix, it's not this weekend coming up, but it's next weekend, so they have a bye coming up in Formula One. Now, here's my first 2024 NHL mock draft of the season. Let's just get right to it. Number 1, the San Jose Sharks. Macklin Celebrini, center, Boston University. Slam dunk pick for the Sharks. We need a young star to build around for the foreseeable future. Celebrini has the experience of excelling against strong competition, so he should fit right in. 2, the Chicago Blackhawks. Artyom Levshunov, defenseman, Michigan State, NCAA. The Blackhawks have plenty of choices of fine defensemen here. They choose Levshunov. He has the NHL size already and has great two-way game too. 3, to Anaheim Ducks. Anton Silyev, defenseman, Torpedo, Russia. The Ducks are still looking for long-term keepers, especially on defense, and Silyev is a good start. He has great defensive upside due to his skating and range. 4, to Columbus Blue Jackets. Ivan Demidov, wing, SKA St. Petersburg, Russia. The Jackets snag arguably the second best player in this whole draft with Demidov. He is a super explosive player that has the skills to be a long-term player. 5, the Montreal Canadiens. Caden Lindstrom, center, Medicine Hat, WHL. The Habs are lacking in many different things in their rebuild. Lindstrom is a physical presence who can produce despite injury questions. 6, the Utah... Who? I hope it's the Utah Yeti. Zeev Buim, defenseman, Denver, NCAA. The newest team in town that needs a completely fresh start gets a player that is pretty safe in Buim. He has all the makings of a franchise team man with his ability to put up points, defend his own end, and log up minutes. 7, the Ottawa Senators. Zane Parik, defenseman, Saginaw, OHL. Parik is a prototypical offensive defenseman, and the Sens could use that type of player in its rebuild. As his defensive play improves, so would his value. 8, Seattle Kraken. Sam Dickinson, defenseman, London, OHL. Defensemen will dominate this top 10, and the Kraken get a solid one in Dickinson. Some people say he's like an NHL veteran with his defensive play and physicality, and his offensive game broke out this past season too. 9, the Calgary Flames. Tej Iginla, center, Kelowna, WHL. Of course, the first mock has legendary Flame Jerome Iginla's son going to Calgary. Iginla improved big time this past season with his great shot and willingness to go through tough areas with the puck. 10, to New Jersey Devils. Berkeley Catton, center, Spokane, WHL. The Devils can use some more offensive firepower, so Catton makes sense. Catton excels in all facets of the game with no glaring weaknesses whatsoever besides his lack of size. 11, the Buffalo Sabres. Konsta Helenius, center, HIFK, Finland. Now we're on a center's run as the Sabres take Helenius. He's a very well-rounded player with his ability to be ahead in the game and excels defensively. 12, the Philadelphia Flyers. Beckett Sinek, wing, Oshawa, OHL. The Flyers came pretty close to making the playoffs this past season, but they still need youth. Sinek is a powerful player that overwhelms opponents with driving to the net. 13, the Minnesota Wild. Carter Yamachuk, defenseman, Calgary, WHL. The Wild are getting older defensively, so it makes sense to go defense here. Yamachuk He was super involved for a D-man with his play in transition and creating chances for teammates. 14, the San Jose Sharks from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Cole Easerman, wing, U.S. National Team Development Program. The Sharks get another forward with their second first-rounder in Easerman. His scoring ability is top-notch, but his defensive play would keep him out of the top 10. 15, the Detroit Red Wings. Michael Brandseg Nygaard, wing, Mora, Sweden. The Red Wings came oh so close to breaking their playoff drought, and they add to their young collection of talent here with Brandseg Nygaard. He's a super physical player that excels in the offensive zone, too. 16, the St. Louis Blues. Trevor Connolly, wing, Tri-City, USHL. The Blues can go anywhere here, but some might argue Connolly here is a reach. He excels with the puck in space and makes good moves when defenders are around. 17, the Washington Capitals. Adam Jiricek, defenseman. Plezen. The Caps still need top-notch talent that can help them right away on the NHL level, and Jiricek is a good choice. He isn't flashy, but his skill set can make him slide into a team's top 4. 18, the Chicago Blackhawks from the New York Islanders. Michael Hage, center, Chicago, USHL. The Blackhawks go with their the hometown kid with their second first-rounder in Hage. He excels in the rush with give-and-go playmaking. 19, the Vegas Golden Knights. Liam Greentree, wing, Windsor, OHL. The Golden Knights need more youth in their system, and Greentree here would be solid. He's consistently scanning, registering his options, and the obstacles that would keep him from getting the puck. 20, the New York Islanders. Igor Chernyshov, wing, Dynamo Moscow. The Islanders need more forwards in their system, and Chernyshov makes sense here. He's great at beating defenders and building up speed below the puck. 21, the Los Angeles Kings. Sasha Boisvert, center, Muskegon. The Kings can go anywhere with their pick, and going with Boisvert here makes sense. He's an elite goal scorer and is a great passer. 22, the Nashville Predators. Cole Bioden, center, Barrie, OHL. The Preds here go with the center in Bioden. He supports, grinds them, spins off opponents, drags out the puck out of traffic, and gets to the middle of the ice. 23, the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jet Luchenko, center, Gulf, OHL. The Leafs need more offensive punch in their farm system, so Luchenko makes sense. He's a very fast player and applies pressure on opponents. 24, the Colorado Avalanche. Nikita Artamonov, wing, Torpedo, Russia. The Avs need more offensive weapons with high upside in their system. Artamov is a high-motor, intelligent winger who can beat you with pace or skill. 25, the Ottawa Senators from the Boston Bruins. Tarek Paraskic, wing, Prince George, WHL. With their second first-rounder, the Sens go offense. Paraskic's a high-end, quick possession player capable of both setting up plays and finishing them. 26, the Montreal Canadiens from the Winnipeg Jets. Cole Hudson, defenseman, U.S. National Team Development Program, Team 2. With their second first, the Habs go defense with the player at this point would be a reach. Hudson has a good one-on-one play and gets past the first layer of defense. 27, the Carolina Hurricanes. Yegor Sarin, center, Loco, Russia. The Canes have to go best player available here, considering how many pending free agents they have. Sarin flies around the ice as he does so much at his maximum velocity. 28, the Calgary Flames from the Vancouver Canucks. E.J. Emery, defenseman, National Team Development Program. The Flames go defense with their second first rounder, and Emery may be a reach here. Emery absorbs and erases opposing rushes with smooth backward strides and a stable, perfect posture. 29, the Dallas Stars. Emil Hemming, wing, TPS, Finland. The Stars should go with best player available here, and they take a good one in Hemming. He's an explosive scorer at his shot, or as his shot types vary and can score from a distance. 30, the New York Rangers. Charlie Ellick, defenseman, Brandon, WHL. The Rangers should go defense with their pick, and they do here with Ellick. He is a physical and proactive player and is a very good skater. 31, the Anaheim Ducks from the Edmonton Oilers. Sam O'Reilly, center, London, OHL. With their second first-rounder, the Ducks go with the forward and O'Reilly, who may be a reach here. O'Reilly is a relentless shutdown defensive center with physicality, details, and the clever touch passing game. And 32, the Philadelphia Flyers from the Florida Panthers. That's not right. Ryder Ritchie, wing, Prince Albert, WHL. With their second first rounder, the Flyers go offense here with Ritchie. He is both a scoring and playmaking threat that is great with crossovers. So there you have it for the first NHL mock draft of the year. Now move on to the news and notes for today. We have a lot to get to with it being Monday. The NFL preseason schedule's out. Hall of Fame game. Obviously kicks off August. So that's going to be fun. How about this? Randy Gregory sues the NFL and the Broncos as he files a lawsuit for over alleged discrimination and $500,000 in fines for prescribed THC use. Yikes. The Madden 25 cover reveal, June 11th. EA Sports announces drop coming in the next week. Game will officially be released August 16th. I have a guess for this. I think it's going to be Mr. CJ Stroud. The Texans are getting all the hype in the world. And, of course, it's going to be him. Of course. I'm calling it now on the record. Madison says CJ Stroud's going to be the cover of Madden. The Chicago Blackhawks unlikely to re-sign Patrick Kane. As the GM shoots down a potential reunion, he goes, I don't foresee us going back on that. So he obviously wants to move on from the past. Garrett Crochet talks trade rumors as he says he's hopeful to remain in Chicago. I don't know about that. Someone's going to, go crazy for him. Cade Cunningham, 99.9% likely to sign max extension with the Pistons. Doesn't surprise me. Teams may trade up for Donovan Clingan. The Bulls, Thunder, Grizzlies, and Jazz have discussed trade-up options to draft Clingan. That would be pretty interesting. And the Lakers are not eyeing Bronny at 17. Of course not. Why would they? Bronny, to me, isn't even a first-rounder. Dan Hurley to mull over the Laker jobs as he plans to fly home to decide future after meeting with the Lakers from Friday. Apparently, the decision's supposed to come today, according to Woj. My gut tells me he stays at UConn. And no, it's not bias, considering Connecticut is not far from where I am residing right now. It's like a 2-hour drive. It's not biased or any of that. I just think that Dan Hurley wants to build a legacy at UConn, and I think that if he were to go to the NBA, that maybe there's better jobs that are going to be open down the road than the Lakers, who, to me, should hire like a short-term coach. I hate to say it, but that's a win-now team. That's not a rebuilding team. To me, Dan Hurley, if he were to go to the NBA, if I'm him, I would go to a team that's either rebuilding or is on the up and coming. Like, I think the Cavs would be interesting for Dan Hurley, quite frankly, because they're more up and coming. Some may say the Knicks are interesting, but I don't think that they will get rid of Tom Thibodeau anytime soon. I think Tom Thibodeau's earned a big contract extension to like what Steve Kerr and Eric Spoelstra got, and to what Mike Brown got in Sacramento. I think another interesting Danny Hurley team would be if the Pelicans were to fire Willie Green. Maybe that would be an interesting landing spot. I think if Chris Finch was in trouble at Minnesota, I think even they would be somewhat interesting for Dan Hurley. Oklahoma City, if Danielle ever got in trouble, but to me, not like the serious win now team, but like win now, but with long-term window. But yeah, the Lakers to me aren't that team. The Clippers aren't that team. As weird as this sounds, Dallas isn't that team. So, yeah, we'll see what happens there, but my guess is that he stays at UConn. But I don't feel 100% certain about it. J.R. Smith had an interesting tweet about Dan Hurley. He goes, "Don't fall for it." There were weird questions asked at the NHL draft combine. One draft prospect got asked for his Snapchat score and Uber rating. That's so weird. And then the NHL announces an $88 million salary cap as it's an increase of $4.5 million. So that is pretty significant for some of these teams in hockey. Lions violated practice rules as Detroit forfeits June 10th practice after breaking NFL player work rules in May. That's not great. Brandon Ayuk and the 49ers are not close on a contract extension. How about this? Zach Wilson's in the mix for QB1 of the Broncos. Oof. That's not a good look for a first-round rookie in Bo Nix. So Bayern agrees to a Polina deal as he finally set for Bundesliga move. And then Tuchel meets with the Man United chief as the former Bayern coach links with part owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe. So Caitlin Clark obviously got left off of Team USA in the Women's Olympics. Everybody's freaking out. And her snub was in part due to a possible fan scrutiny over limited playing time. And then Caitlin Clark said it's the most competitive team in the world. So maybe she, Caitlin's saying all the right things, but Caitlin's probably upset about this. And obviously Audra Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, a lot of players from the Liberty and the Aces are on there. Alyssa Thomas, I believe, is on there. Yup. Tarasi Griner, Kelsey Plum, Nafisa Collier, Jewel Lloyd, Jackie Young, Chelsea Gray, Cleo Cooper. Who is Caitlin replacing is the question. There's a name that's a little controversial. I mean, would you put her instead of Brittany Griner? But you could argue that's too controversial for non-basketball reasons, so I'm not going to say Brittany Griner. You can make a case she should replace Kalia Cooper, Griner's teammate. I know she's had a great start to the season this year. You got to keep the Aces girls on there. They're all amazing. You got to keep the Liberty girls on there. Alyssa Thomas You got to keep her on there. Collier is really good. Keep Jewel Lloyd. To me, the one, if I had to drop anybody for Caitlin Clark, it's Kalia Cooper. Although some may argue Brittany Griner, some may argue one of like Chelsea Gray, maybe. Because Aja Wilson's not being taken off. The Liberty girls aren't being taken off. And Alyssa Thomas isn't being taken off. Neither is Kelsey Plum. Taurasi's not being taken off. So that's the case for Caitlin Clark not being on the team. Who does she replace? But I would say the person that she should have replaced would be Kalia Cooper. And the funny thing is that she had a big shot the other night that spoiled a big game by Kayla McBride. And then Brittany Griner just came back from her toe injury the other night against the Lynx. And Caitlin Clark had a shit ton of threes the other night. Bronny might have a few more workouts as he's winning a few more invites, visits from the Lakers and the Suns. Alex Sarr likely going top 2, either to the Wizards or the Hawks. I don't know where he's going to go. I had him 2 in the mock draft, although most people think he's going 1. Zach Edey to visit the Lakers, I think that's interesting. Of course, Caglione hit his 33rd home run in the baseball tournament. UNC had that walk-off over West Virginia, which was awesome. There's rumors that Juan Soto could be back tonight against the Royals. And he's unlikely to go on the IL. If he's not back in tonight's game, I think he's going on the IL. That's just my opinion. Alec Manoah, that was out for the season. UCL surgery, that's not great for Toronto. Granted, he stunk last year. And he really hasn't been that impactful this year. During last anyway. I mean, I feel bad for Manoah, but he was awful last year. And plus the team stinks this year. And they're not as good as I thought they were going to be. They might be the most disappointing team in baseball this year. I mean, some may say the Cubs. Some may say, obviously, the Mets. The Astros are right up there. But you actually know it's probably Houston. Because it's Houston. The Rangers have to be up there. But yeah, the two teams that were supposed to be good in the AL East, along with the Yankees and the Orioles, have been disappointing. I mean, Boston's a little better than I thought. Kodai Senga's still silent as he'll make his debut after the All-Star break. I mean, he might not even come back this year. Steven Strasburg says he felt like he failed as he acknowledges inner turmoil after retirement. Speaking of retirement, Darren Waller retired from the Giants. Talk about a bad trade by Joe Shane. But he traded a 3rd rounder for him. But yeah, not ideal. But it's actually kind of a good thing for the Giants as they open up $11.6 million in cap space. But yeah, Darren Waller, one of the biggest Giant bust acquisitions. Him and Galladay. I mean, granted, quarterback play not great, but those are probably 2 of the bigger busts in recent years in terms of acquisitions. Malik Neighbors, speaking of the Giants, compared to Odell as another team's assistant coach, hyped him up. Neighbors is the most explosive. And meanwhile, another receiver on the Giants, Jalen Hyatt, says, we have a playoff team. What? Like, come on. What are you doing to make me saying that? Like, you're in probably the best division in your conference, if not second best. Actually, no, second best. The North's better than the East, but you're in a loaded, a top-heavy division, a conference that's gonna get better. And You have questions at the quarterback position. Good defense, though. I mean, maybe Neighbors makes them better. You lost Barkley, so you probably are not a playoff team. The Detroit Tigers troll with Aaron Rodgers. So, yeah, John Heyman said it was optimism for the Soto injury. Absence should be long-term. That's a good break for the Yanks. Bad Bunny's agency violations as the Players Association accuses Remus Sports of committing a series of grave violations. Bryce Harper eyeing the Olympics as he would love to represent Team USA when baseball returns in 2028. I wouldn't be shocked. We talked about Dan Hurley. Another South option for the Lakers is former Villanova coach Jay Wright. I don't think Jay Wright wants to coach ever again. But yeah, Hurley 50-50 to stay as of Friday. So the Belmont Stakes, Dornock won it at 17-1. So congrats to Dornock. That is not who Jeff Burns and I had winning that race. So Dornock won. Which was crazy. Sierra Leone came in second, who was my pick. Third was Sierra Leone. Second was Mindframe. Fourth was Honor Marie. Then it was Antiquarian, Protective, Seize the Gray, Mystic Jan, The Wine Stored, and Resilience. So that was your order in the Belmont. Next big horse race is the Haskell. Obviously, we're going to have Jeff on for that when that comes. We love the Haskell. So, that will be fun. So with this, Ryan Garcia got arrested in Los Angeles as TMZ posted a video of Garcia being handcuffed for felony vandalism. Oof. Not ideal. Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight rescheduled for November 15th at Cherry World, AT&T Stadium. I don't think anybody expected the fight to be there. The PGA officer injuries revealed as Louisville police released videos of injuries suffered by officer who arrested Scotty Scheffler. So how about this? Trent Grisham was at bat in the Yankees game last night against the Dodgers and heard "We Want Soto" chants. Next pitch, 3-run home run to give the Yankees a 5-3 lead. Someone said it good on Twitter yesterday. That was the best, so that's baseball Susan moment of the season. Jason Kidd says that Jaylen Brown is the Celtics' best player. I disagree with that. I still think it's Tatum, although he has not been great in the series. And then Jason Tatum calls out Jason Kidd for trying to drive a wedge between him and Jaylen. Kyrie opens up on the Celtics and says he failed miserably during tenure in Boston. I agree with him. Drew Holiday agrees with Jason Kidd, as Drew Holiday praises Jaylen's ability as a two-way player. And then, obviously, the foul, or the non-foul called on the Derek White block, and people thought P.J. Washington was fouled, including Mike Breen. So, there you have it for news and notes. last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So, best bet. There's an obvious one sitting there. It's an over, and it's in baseball. 2 stinky pitchers who are going to continue to give up a ton of runs. The total is 8.5. Dakota Hudson, Chris Paddock, over 8.5. Rockies Twins, -105 for best bet. That was easy. So there you have it for the show, and I'll be back on Tuesday, which is tomorrow, recapping everything and looking ahead to everything. Tomorrow, then we'll do NHL's biggest regrets of the decade. Wednesday, we'll do NBA mock, maybe another NHL mock on Friday. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.